Welcome to the Military Peak YouTube channel. Let's start with the latest news of the military agenda. It is known that since the beginning of the war, Ukraine has gained strength with the support it has received from many countries. Thanks to the various aids provided in many areas, significant advantages are obtained against the Russian army. Moreover, to remind you, Leopard 2 tanks, one of the best tanks in the world, were also sent to Ukraine. According to the latest news, these German Leopard 2 tanks delivered to Ukraine have already been sent to the front line. Also, according to estimates, these tanks are not yet included in the battle and are on hold for the upcoming counterattack. As is known, the counterattack that is expected to be launched by Ukraine has been expected for a long time. It was stated that the reason why this counterattack has not started yet is the adverse weather conditions and the large number of minefields laid by Russian soldiers against Western tanks. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian army continues to undergo special training on state-of-the-art equipment and on the upcoming counterattack. In addition, these Leopard 2 tanks will greatly affect the course of the war. Sending these tanks to Ukraine will enable the Ukrainian army to gain critical advantages in ground operations. At the same time, military experts made remarkable claims. It is stated that the army, equipped with military equipment such as Abrams, Leopard 2 and Challenger 2 main battle tanks sent to Ukraine from the West, new artillery systems and Bradley armored vehicles, has increased its potential to achieve great success against Russian soldiers. Ukrainian soldiers, deployed at many points on the front, are determinedly increasing their preparations with new troops and Western weapons to protect the regions. Former General Hodges of the United States stated that Ukraine can now focus its efforts on retaking Crimea, which has been in Russian hands since 2014. Colonel de Breton, on the other hand, thinks that Ukraine can launch a lightning attack and enter at least 300 kilometers from Russia's border. He also compares Ukraine's upcoming counterattack to Operation Desert Storm, and predicts that troops will try to push back behind the Russian army's line with a lightning strike. To remind you, this type of operation was previously carried out in tank operations against the Crimea in 1991. In this operation, the West's modern tanks had advanced by overcoming many obstacles such as barbed wire and mines. When faced with this scenario again, it is thought that these tanks could turn Russia's old Soviet-era tank fleet upside down. In the previous Desert Storm operation, it was stated that the ground attacks were overcome in just hours and the surrender of the other side was ensured with American tanks. Colonel de Breton Gordon said, "We covered several hundred miles in over 4 days in Desert Storm. The Ukrainians will probably want to go a little further, but not by much." It is reported that he faced Russian armored vehicles and defeated these Russian vehicles in a short time. According to Gordon, if the Ukrainian troops were able to break through Russia's defenses with a similar tactic, it would cause destruction behind the lines of the Russian troops. This will make it much more difficult for the Russian army to withstand the operations anymore. In order to achieve this, it is estimated that logistics, which is seen as the key to the Ukrainian victory, will be put into action. As it is known, the biggest problems in logistics are experienced by the Russian army. This is due to both the Ukrainian army's attacks targeting Russian logistics points, and the Russian troops suffering significant losses. At the same time, it was reported that Ukrainian troops carried out many counterattacks along the front line on many fronts. It is estimated that these units have been preparing for a large-scale counterattack in recent months. According to the former head of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, especially in the last 2 days, units of the armed forces of Ukraine have been actively conducting reconnaissance at various points of the front line in important regions. Such tactics also prove that preparations for a large-scale counteroffensive by the Ukrainian army have begun. Moreover, in recent days, Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine Anna Maliar stated that the Ukrainian armed forces carried out counterattacks along the entire front line in important regions. It is estimated that the Ukrainian units, which develop and implement various tactics on the fronts, will detect and hit the most vulnerable points of the Russian military points in large-scale counterattacks. In addition, it is seen that the Russian military command was distracted and diverted in other directions in small-scale and simultaneous attacks. On the other hand, the Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, Oleksiy Danilov, made remarkable statements. Danilov appealed to the leaders, "Stop bringing us to the negotiating table, just give us enough weapons. Weapons are the best mediator and the only communication argument Russia understands. He made statements advocating that he be brought to his table. In this war that has been going on for a long time, it is seen that all kinds of moves have become much more critical. In this direction, the course of operations has greater importance. In these days when there is no margin of error for both sides in the long run, all kinds of moves will need to be planned in a strategic direction. Otherwise, it will become more difficult to compensate for the losses and mistakes made. As long as the Ukrainian army gets stronger by receiving various supports from many countries, the probability of success of the Russian army will decrease even more. This will greatly affect the course of the war and will ensure that everything will progress in favor of Ukraine. The Russian army, on the other hand, may have to face the heaviest casualties of recent times if it continues to make more unsuccessful offensive attempts and strategic mistakes. In the coming days, we will follow all the military and political developments in the world, especially the Russia-Ukraine war, for you. To be informed of developments faster, you can subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Also, if you like our video and leave a comment, you will make us feel your support. For now, I wish everyone a good day. See you soon.
Miami, he the only thing that gives me